204. The Associated Press went through the records of arrests at protests around the United States and determined that more than 10,000 people had been arrested in the first week on charges ranging from curfew violations and failures to disperse to looting. Most of the arrests occurred in Los Angeles, where there have been more than 3,000, New York, Dallas, and Philadelphia 205. Leftist punk Aidan Courtwright was arrested for assault by police in Fall River, Massachusetts for viciously attacking an elderly Trump supporter by body slamming him and kicking him in the ribs before running away cowardly. 206. Black racist and cowardly punk Rashid Bramaj, who was caught on video punching a 92-year-old woman in the face without provocation in New York City, was arrested for the crime after the NYPD called on the public's help in identifying the punk. 207. Bramaj was later discovered to have previously been arrested 103 times on a variety of charges, including various petty crimes and sexual assaults, and was also discovered to be listed on the New York State Sex Offender Registry. 208. Former Obama administration official and deep stater Susan E. Rice, who lied about the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi, quoted Leon Trotsky in calling for Senate Republican supporters of Donald Trump to be confined to the trash heap of history. 209. White Black Lives Matter attorney James Marshall was arrested and charged with attempted murder and assault after he was caught on camera shooting a driver in the head during a Antifa/BLM protest in Alamosa, Colorado. 210. The shooting victim, Danny Pruitt, is currently on life support in hospital in Colorado Springs. Black Lives Matter homophobes beat a gay Democrat state senator and left him for dead. 211. Party leaders refused to condemn the violence. A leftist punk assaulted a senior citizen, then cowardly ran and hid behind police officers during a clash between leftist rioters attempting to topple a Christopher Columbus statue and patriots defending the statue in New Haven, Connecticut. 212. Antifa punks viciously gang assaulted one of their own supporters, Democrat Senator Tim Carpenter, when he caught them on camera vandalizing and toppling a statue of abolitionist Hans Christian Heg in Madison, Wisconsin. 213. A Detroit Police Department officer had his police SUV surrounded by dozens of Antifa rioters in that city when he stepped on the gas and used his car to extract himself from the swarming mob of violent and screaming punks, plowing into and injuring several of them when they foolishly tried to pile onto the car and refused to move from its path. 214. Even as the police car escaped from the scene, several dozen of the determined and deranged punks continued chasing after the car on foot for some distance. Not long after the incident, a Twitter supporter of the rioters attempted to dox the officer by posting photos of the license plate and ID number of the officer's car in a pair of tweets, which drew heavy criticism against the Antifa supporter from a number of posters, some of which pointed out to him that doxing is illegal, while the video footage of the SUV incident, which was filmed and posted by another of the rioters on his Twitter account, was manipulatively edited for airing by local liberal media outlets to make it look like the police were the aggressors instead of the rioters. Racist BLM and Antifa rioters brazenly invaded a church in Troy, New York, assaulted and intimidated a number of its parishioners, several of which were black, and behaved childishly as they screamed mindless chants and profanity to interrupt a sermon being delivered by the church's pastor, all as they falsely claimed, "We're not here for violence," while engaging in their violent acts, including even threats to burn down the church, a tactic also historically favored by Antifa and BLM's leftist brethren, the KKK. 215. One of the leaders of the attack on the church was far-left racist black activist Lookie Forbes, a city employee in nearby Albany. 216. Not surprisingly, the liberal media minimized what happened in the incident as they stood up for the rioters, calling them protesters and demonstrators and even claiming that the church had it coming. 217. No arrests were made against the rioters, despite the presence of local police. July 2020. Black Lives Matter protesters murdered 8-year-old Secretary E. Turner on July 5, 2020 in Atlanta. 218. See also, defund the police. Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden called the police the enemy. 219. 2 white female leftist rioters who were illegally holding up traffic in downtown Seattle were hit and seriously injured by a car driving along Interstate 5 in the area. 221 of the rioters, Summer Taylor, later died of her injuries in a Seattle hospital, while the driver was charged in the incident. 221 The driver was later targeted and illegally doxxed by Antifa, who Fasola called him a racist monster, 222 even though he is black, while a friend of Taylor's posted in a since deleted tweet paying tribute to her while claiming her to be non-binary, incorrectly calling her they/them and implying her to be multiple people. Black racist Cedric Charles Moore Jr. jumped out of a car and viciously sucker-punched a 12-year-old street dancer in a blatant and unprovoked hate crime in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, then got back in the car and cowardly fled the scene. 223 Cape Girardeau police subsequently began looking for Moore, who has been charged in absentia with second-degree felony assault and first-degree felony child endangerment. 224 his friends and members of his family, who have refused to cooperate with the police in their search for him, could likewise face charges of aiding and abetting for helping Moore evade the police. 225 After several days on the run from police, Moore subsequently turned himself in to face the charges against him. 226 Moore pleaded guilty on the assault charge and was sentenced to 7 years in prison in May 2021. 227 Canadian Black Lives Matter member Yusra Kogalai was outed as a blatant racist when old social media posts, since deleted by Kogalai after she received heavy backlash for them, but archived elsewhere, were released, calling white people subhuman, misspelled in her posts as subhumps, and genetic defects, used pseudo-scientific false claims about whites, with nothing to back them up, in her racist comments, and stated explicitly that she wished to kill white people, then later righteously lashed out at her critics when she was criticized for making those death threat posts. 228 During a riot in Bloomington, Indiana started by leftist punks over a claim that a black man had been threatened and assaulted after he and some friends trespassed on private property several days earlier, one of the rioters, who were illegally blocking traffic, was hit and injured by a car whose driver was attempting to escape from the area, as several of the punks risked injury by attacking the vehicle and stupidly piling onto the car. 229 With a large number of the punks chasing after the car for some distance following the incident. 230 A female Antifa member posted a video to Twitter which openly advocated criminal behavior by instructing her fellow Antifa rioters on how to stop cars at their riots and smash in the cars' windows and windshields to get to the drivers, pull them out of the cars and viciously swarm and assault them. 231 7 Antifa rioters were arrested on various federal felony charges after they and other rioters repeatedly attacked and vandalized the Hatfield Federal Courthouse in Portland, assaulted police officers and committed other crimes while rioting. 232 Corrupt Soros-funded Contra Costa County, California Democrat District Attorney Diana Becton filed false hate crime charges and other bogus charges against a couple who removed Black Lives Matter graffiti from a road, leading to the couple getting harassed by liberal media outlets and activists, as well as getting illegally doxxed after video of the couple removing the graffiti was spread on social media. 233 Jessica Dodie Whittaker was murdered in Indianapolis by a racist Black Lives Matter thug who shot her in the head for her declaration that all lives matter, then cowardly ran off after he shot her. 234 Indianapolis police are still looking for the shooter. Soon after the shooting, while the liberal media chose to initially all but ignore the shooting and then twisted the events of the incident and resorted to their usual creative fiction writing to fit their preconceived narratives, BLM supporters, showing their true sociopathic and cowardly natures, added insult to injury by invading Whittaker's Facebook page and leaving vile, racist and taunting comments that libeled her, celebrated her death and childishly mocked her grieving family. 235 Police are searching for violent rioters in Columbus, Ohio who viciously attacked a 58-year-old man with cerebral palsy and also attacked bystanders who tried to help the man. 236